Welcome to another edition of the Tom Green Podcast. And if you were a kid in the 90s like I was and like our guest is, you know what that music means. That means we're talking some NBA with our Wisconsin buddy. And we talked off air. He's not Bob Uecker, but he's trying to do a Bob Uecker impersonation so that him and I can do like a Harry Carey Bob Uecker's sketch at some point. He is from 90 FM Sports Wisconsin, Alex Strouf. Welcome back to the show, Alex.
Thank you, Tom. Always good to be back. Yeah, well, next time we do this, hopefully I'll have a Uecker impression ready for you. But that is not today, and if we're talking baseball one day, I will try. I'm not promising it'll be good, but I will try.
Sounds good. Tell us quickly about your new gig with Green Bay.
Yeah, so I'm doing play-by-play for the Green Bay Blizzard of the Indoor Football League. So that season started back at the beginning of March. Green Bay has really picked it up. They've been kind of a sorry franchise, at least on the football field, the last couple of years. And they're 4-2. They're in the playoff hunt. They're playing really, really well. They've been one of the most, if not the most exciting team on the football field this season in the Indoor Football League. So it's been quite the turnaround for them, and it's been a fun gig so far.
Are we sure we're talking about the Blizzard or the Packers? Because it sure sounds like you're talking about the Packers there. How excited you are.
The Packers are always interesting, but they'll be all right. They'll be all right, I promise.
So, if Alex becomes the voice of the Green Bay Packers, you heard it here first. I think he's gonna get there at some point.
Well, fingers crossed. I appreciate that.
So, with that being said, we are talking some NBA and NBA playoff previews. As you guys saw from yesterday, the Pistons made the playoffs with a fairly easy victory over the New York Knicks, and if you follow me on Instagram, we know that I'm kind of crazy on there, but I went full Tom Green crazy last night, chugged an Oberon and 3 shots of Crown Royal Apple to celebrate the playoff berth. Oh yes, definitely. As far as how far we'll get in the playoffs, well, that determines to be seen as we are playing the Milwaukee Bucks. And Alex can give us a little bit on the Milwaukee Bucks. 60 wins, how did they get there?
Well, they got there with Giannis Antetokounmpo becoming even more of the freak he already was. They got there with the coaching addition of Coach Bud, probably the coach of the year. I think it's crazy if he doesn't win it. I mean, this team went from the 8th seed to the 1 seed in the Eastern Conference in 1 year, which is just, that's a crazy turnaround no matter what conference you're in, no matter what league you're in. If you're going into the final playoff spot, the top playoff spot in a conference that has 8 playoff spots, Tom, you and I both know that is a weird turnaround that you never see.
Especially in the NBA.
Right, especially. And for them to bolster up 7 spots all the way to the top spot in the East, that's crazy. And with Giannis playing at the MVP level, he has been all year long, and with Coach Bud really implementing, different guys that have come in and really evolved this offense. And, this defense as well has been really solid. Giannis is a front runner for the Defensive Player of the Year, and he'll be first team all-defense. So, it shows you how good these Bucks are. And I think if they need to win a playoff series before I'm convinced that they can do something really special. But I think putting themselves as the top seed in the entire NBA really helps.
Definitely. And so, how do we think this series will go? Be careful because you're on a Detroit-based podcast.
Yeah, I know that. I'll be careful. That's why I'm going to give them a game. I think the Bucks win in 5. I think Detroit maybe steals game 3, just to give them a little vote of confidence. I'll take the Bucks in 5.
You will be surprised by my pick, as I am brutally honest when it comes to sports takes and even life takes, as you've seen on my social media. I am actually going to say Bucks in 5 as well. I actually think Detroit steals Game 4, as Bud feels so confident that they will sweep that he will rest Giannis in Game 4, and it comes back to bite. But he brings them back to the Pfizer. He brings them back to the Pfizer Forum and wins Game 5 handily. Milwaukee advances. God, I hope I'm wrong, but I'm just being truthful here.
Good.
Moving to Boston and Indy, the 4-5 series. So we got the Bucks advancing. Who do you think they will play in round 2?
They've got Boston. Boston's getting a sweep in that series. Pacers have been really solid, even without Victor Oladipo, but I think Boston's really going to turn it up for playoff time. I have the Boston Celtics in 4 games.
This Boston team has been a mystery as far as whether Kyrie will play next year in Boston or Anthony Davis plays in Boston. It's been crazy there, of course, people wanting Brad Stevens gone, but seemingly every year they've made the playoffs. Indy has seemingly overachieved, but without Oladipo, it will hurt Indy badly. Give me Boston in 6, actually. I think Indy takes Game 3 and 4, but Boston takes Games 5 and 6. Disappointing, but somehow impressing Larry Bird, as it's Larry Bird against his former team, even though Larry Bird's not in Indy anymore.
There you go.
Just remember, Charles Barkley and Larry Bird. Be quiet, Larry Bird. Not you, Larry Bird. Moving to the other side of the East bracket, we got the process against a different sort of process. And we got Philly and the Nets. Not Benny and the Jets, but Philly and the Nets. Who advances in this series?
I like the Philly and the Nets thing. That was good. I'm going to go Philly in 7. I think this is going to be the best series in the East in the first round. I think the Nets have been incredibly impressive through 82 games, and I think they're not going to go down easy. So I have Philly in 7 games. I think it's going to be a really good series.
Yes, this might be the best series I think it will be the best series of the East in the first round. Brooklyn has really rebuilt successfully with seemingly young guys that have just overachieved a bit, especially with D'Angelo Russell coming from the Lakers and sinking the Lakers playoff ship. When he was 19, he was caught in some scandal involving a girlfriend of some sort, and I kind of forget what happened there. But still, he made LA his ex. Let's say that. I think this goes 7 as well. Give me Philly as well. The process has got to win in some sort, and it's been 5 years now they've tried this process. I think they'll
get it. I think they'll get it. I just think, like you said, Tom, I think it'll be tough, but I think they will get it.
Yes, give me Philly in 7. So, on our last series of the East, Toronto and Orlando, the Magic. Does Mickey Mouse play on that team? How did they make the playoffs?
Yeah, I don't know what happened with them. They've turned it up, but Tom, I'm gonna be quite frank here. I'm gonna say Toronto. I already picked a sweep, so I'll go Toronto in 5. Orlando somehow steals one, maybe like off a buzzer beater or something crazy. But I will take Toronto in 5 when it really should have been 4.
This I'm actually going to pick a sweep. Orlando's going to need a lot of magic, and not just from Mickey Mouse if they're gonna beat Toronto. I think Nick has nursed the Raptors into a great position here with a 2 seed, if you know what I mean. Kawhi has played very, very great defense, and it's unfortunate that Detroit has Milwaukee instead of Toronto. Otherwise, I would have picked Detroit in an upset over Toronto. Give me the Raptors in a sweep.
Okay, I respect that. I think that's probably the safe pick, but I'm gonna give Orlando a little bit of credit. I'll give them a game.
They would need UCF's national championship aura to beat Toronto.
Exactly.
We're the national champions. Moving to the Western Conference, the 1-8 Golden State against the Clippers. And first, before we get to that series, any thoughts on the Kings firing Jaeger?
Look, Tom, I'm just going to be really frank with this series. I think the Clippers are riding momentum, but I don't think that will help them too much. I mean, Golden State isn't going to drop their crown easy, and I think we're in agreement there, right? Golden State is not going anywhere anytime soon, and I don't see them struggling. I just don't this whole playoffs. I'll take them in a clean sweep. Warriors in 4.
I honestly think that the Clippers have a better chance of winning a game than Detroit, but it really doesn't matter. Neither 8 seed will win the series. This isn't the Don Nelson Warriors of 2008 sweeping.
Right. I think that's interesting. That's an interesting perspective from you, Tom. I think that's almost a shocker to me. I think the Warriors are still, even though they hadn't had the most wins, they didn't have the most wins last year either. They were the second seed in the West last year. They're still the toughest team in the NBA by a mile, in my opinion, and I don't see them struggling, especially in round one.
Yeah, I see them sweeping this as well. Like I said, neither the Clippers nor the Pistons are the 2008 Warriors that swept a dominant Dallas team. So
you're right. You are correct. You are correct.
Give me the Warriors in a clean sweep. The team, and also any thoughts on Sacramento firing Jaeger?
Sorry, I did miss that. I'm not shocked. I mean, obviously they were in it for a little bit there, but they ended up fading out there toward the end of the year. I think it's an interesting decision. I mean, Sacramento's a solid squad, so I thought that was an interesting fire. We'll see. I mean, they definitely have talent. They still have Marvin Bagley, who's just getting done with his rookie year. I mean, the sky's the limit for that guy, and they're easing him into it. De'Aaron Fox is a top candidate for most improved player. He won't win it, but I mean, he's probably a top 3, top 4 candidate. So Sacramento still has some promise. Maybe if they can get the right fit like Milwaukee did, they can really shoot into a playoff spot. I wouldn't doubt seeing them make the playoffs next year. So we'll see. I think that was an interesting fire.
Yeah. Vlade Divac, if I remember correctly, had said 2 years ago, I will give this squad 2 years. If we do not improve in 2 years, I will leave. Well, promises made,
He's still there, ain't he?
Promises not kept. Yeah, they didn't make the playoffs. They might have improved win-wise, but still. Dave Joerger is a coach that took a literal 2K Grizzlies squad to the playoffs just a few years ago and won a playoff series. So, Vlade, what in the hell are you doing? In the words of Hawk Harrelson, what in the hell are you doing, Vlade? Hopefully he hires the right coach, because they do have a very young and very good squad with Fox, Hield, and Bagley, and Cauley Stein. Let's not forget about him too. So moving on to Houston and Utah, the team that almost sank Golden State's ship and should have if Chris Paul had played. Do they advance to the second round?
Yes, but it's going to be a good series. Rockets in 6.
Rockets at 6. I was probably the only person in America last year that predicted the Jazz to beat OKC in the first round.
Yeah, that happened.
Last year. One of my favorite moments was Mitt Romney taunting Russell Westbrook when he got his 4th foul in the second quarter of Game 3, I think it was. That's 4! But unfortunately, lightning does not strike twice. Give me Houston in 7 in a tightly contested Game 7. Thankfully, it's in Houston. Moving to the other side of the bracket. Portland and OKC, and Portland had an interesting last game last night. Nah, we don't want to play OKC. Oh, wait, we're going to play them anyway? All right, let's win this game.
Yeah. That was just crazy how much shifting happened. But on the series, I think this is the only upset I'm going to pick. I hope you agree with me, because I think my Thunder knocked off the Trailblazers in 6.
This is probably the best series of maybe the second best. Houston-Utah might if it goes Game 7. This one is a tricky series, and it's easy to pick the upset, and I think it's too easy to. Give me OKC in 7, actually. I'll make that a 7-game series as well. Tightly contested Game 7 with Portland. Unfortunately, Mike Tirico will not be announcing Game 7 if Damian Lillard hits a 3. Oh, my God! If we remember that Houston-Portland series from a few years ago. Yeah, Westbrook averaging a triple-double again this year with PG-13. Sadly, they did not rate R this year.
Dangerous squad.
They're a dangerous squad indeed. Give me OKC in 7. a young and rising Denver team against the Spurs.
Yeah, this is absolutely a series I could see being an upset, and I think you might agree with me. But I'm not going to pick it. I can see it, but I'm not going to pick it. I'll take the Nuggets, and why not? Give me 7 games for this series. I'll take Denver in 7.
Somehow we agreed on every single pick, and this is where I will go contrarian on you. Give me the Spurs in 7. The Spurs have just worked hard, been consistently a hard-working team for over pretty much the span of our lifetimes, as Pop has experimented with his beard as well as his team. And every year since Pop has been the head coach,
he somehow finds a way every single year.
They have made the playoffs. Give me the Spurs in, get this, 6.
Wow.
Jokic and the Nuggets have overachieved, in my opinion, this year. And had they gotten the 1 seed, which I was kind of hoping they were going to get the 1 seed, but oh well, I think they would have been the victim of an upset by an 8 seed.
Okay, interesting.
So if you're in Denver, prove me wrong. So we picked our first round. We're going to skip second round and perhaps conference title because of time constraints. What's your NBA final going to be?
Well, I mean, for the Western Conference, I'll get the easy one out of the way. I have Golden State going back there. From the Eastern Conference, it hurts me to pick against the Bucks in the second round, but I think that 4 seed in the East is too darn good to be a 4 seed. I have Boston and Golden State in the NBA Finals. That was my preseason pick, and I'm sticking with it.
Okay. As of right now, I'm conflicted as to how Boston will play in the playoffs with or without Kyrie. It's just been a mystery. The TD Garden has been changed into a big question mark. And hopefully it turns into an exclamation point if they do make the finals. I'm going to go chalk here and go Golden State Milwaukee. I think, yes, the last time Budenholzer's team was a 1 seed, they were swept by LeBron. But the thing is, LeBron is not in the playoffs this year for the first time since 2005, which I think clears the path for Mike Budenholzer and the Bucks to make the NBA Finals.
I like the pick.
Give me Golden.
I'm not going to yell at you for it.
Oh yeah, give me Golden State and Milwaukee in the NBA Finals, and you never know, that would be a very good series if it happens. So,
I hope that's what we see. I just don't think it will be.
And so, before we take off here, go ahead and promote your little trivia thing that you'll be emceeing this weekend.
Oh, yeah. So I guess your Point 90 FM, the radio station I work for, beginning at the top. And they are home to the world's largest trivia contest, which is just, this weekend the Wisconsin governor has proclaimed this weekend as Trivia Weekend in Wisconsin. It's 54 hours straight of trivia, and it is organized chaos at its finest. So we'll see how often I sleep this weekend. Probably not a whole lot, but it'll be fun.
So if you're around Wisconsin this weekend and you see Alex Strouf emceeing an event, go mention him about this podcast, and I'm sure he'll appreciate that. So, as for every podcast I do, anything else you have to add to this wonderful Tom Green podcast?
Well, it has been wonderful indeed. We agreed on almost all of them. I think the first round will still be fun, and there's always surprises. So let's both have a little humility and admit we're at least getting one of these series wrong. That said, Tom, I always appreciate you having me on. Always a pleasure. Let's do it again sometime, and then anybody listening, you can find me on Twitter at Alex_Strouf. Feel free to connect. Oh,
definitely. And as for me, at TomTV23 on Twitter, as always, and at Tom Green Pod for the Tom Green Podcast Twitter. So thanks again, Alex, for coming on. He is Alex Strouf, and this has been the Tom Green Podcast.